Hello, Griffin McElroy. How you doing today?
Pretty good, Charlie. What are we looking at? What are we dealing with?
We are taking a look at the newest expansion, I believe the first expansion, for Pillars of Eternity, and it's called The White March. The White March actually contains a couple of things. It contains, of course, a very high-level dungeon for players that have really maxed out other areas of the game, but it also includes this new quest line, which is called, as I said before, the White March, and it takes you up to this border town where this town is having some issues with ogres, as you can see here.
Yeah, that I didn't want to speculate as to what their species was, but I was going to say something big.
These are definitely ogres, and if you look carefully, they're both swinging cannons and firing cannons from the hip. These things are really, really dangerous. And they got those cannons from an abandoned dwarven stronghold nearby, which has this beautiful forge inside. And it's kind of an economic storyline almost. It's this border town that really wants you to reopen this dwarven forge so that it can start making this amazing steel and breathe some life back into the town.
I assume that you're going to garner some of the benefits from that as well. Getting your own cannon hammers.
There's lots of meaty quest lines involved in this one, but I wanted to linger for just a moment on some of the improvements that they made to the Pillars of Eternity engine itself. And one of them is they've actually added in some AI for your party.
Thank God. I mean, this is. I love RPGs. I love Dungeons and Dragons, and I think that the CRPG genre is kind of like designed to try and emulate that, right, on like a single player basis. But just all of the micromanagement that Pillars of Eternity brought to the table, I just couldn't get very into it.
I'm feeling you, man. I got about 40 to 50 hours into the game where I really hit a wall, where I had kind of built my party in a way that I wasn't happy with or wasn't excited to play anymore, and I actually put the game aside for a little while. So I'm playing with a save that the folks over at Obsidian shared with me, and I'm having a great time with it again. It's kind of encouraging me to go back and rescale my party.
How well does the AI perform? Are they fairly competent?
Oh man, they love unloading everything in their arsenal at a moment's notice. You actually have to hold them back.
Yeah, you can control that, right?
Yeah, you can turn off their use of daily powers, basically. So then you have to go in and micromanage their real powerful spells. But once you do that, it kind of evens things out. You can set some to be support, some to be aggressive, so on and so forth. But what they've also added to the game, and I was talking with them at Gen Con about this, they had it there to demo, is they've added more of these story-focused asides as well. And I know that this was something that you really enjoyed in the first game.
Yeah, I really dug it. It's very quintessential like D&D stuff, and it's a really smart way of incorporating it. I feel like a lot of this stuff gets lost in the shuffle when you just have that isometric far-off view. So to get these like hand-drawn illustrated story cards, I thought was a really nice touch.
Well, and the isometric view that they provide most of the time is really good at allowing you to control the action, allowing you to see what's going on, buffs, effects, enemies, movement, engagement, all of that stuff that you need for tactical experience. Not really good at the role play.
Yeah,
and
sure.
So these are really awesome. So this is very early in the opening sequence of the mission. You're trying to rescue two people from a burning house that these ogres have set afire. And you have to choose between the man in this house, who is I believe a town guard, and the woman in the house. And I've gone through it actually 3 or 4 times, and I can't quite figure out how to get them both out of there. So it really does force you to choose and make difficult decisions. And I really respect that in an RPG, that it makes you live with things like that.
So do you need to have completely finished the core game in order to get into this, or does this come in like somewhere in the middle?
Once you've opened up the stronghold at Caed Nua, and if you've played any Pillars of Eternity, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can go to the stronghold, and there's a letter there waiting for you. And this town, the White March, is asking for your assistance. And then once you get there, it scales to meet your level. I will tell you, I went there with my main party, my level 5 or 6 party, and I got my butt handed to me.
Yeah.
I then went there with Obsidian's level 7 party, and it got my butt handed to me. Then I went there with Obsidian's level 11 party, and I waltzed right through the opening.
Okay.
So I don't know. It feels to me that at least some of the first encounters in this area are very, very challenging. But I was able to kind of tinker with the game settings and get myself through it. But there's also some new NPCs in the game. One of them is this guy, Zahua, and he is kind of a stoic philosopher type character. He injures himself as part of his belief system to escape from vanity, to escape from pride and things like this. And
that seems like it'd be inconvenient as the ruler of this party. Like, but you're wasting all of our healing potions. Stop it.
But he is a bare knuckle brawler, and the voiceover for this character is just
Resting
enchanting.
my eyes, I thought, waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me insight. It would seem I dozed. Good thing my master was not alive.
I
to see
love
it.
listening to this guy, and some of the production values throughout Pillars of Eternity, I was really surprised with the first time around when I first got into the game. They've really kept that level of quality with the expansion. So much of this is voiced, and it's voiced incredibly well.
It looks rad. It looks like the AI enhancements at the very least, like, that's really appealing to me. Like, I really wanted to get super into this game. I was following the Kickstarter, but just when it came out, I got 6 party members and was spending like so much time micromanaging in each battle. Like, I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
But yeah, this seems like it's going to get me back in. Is this a paid expansion? What's the deal?
The White March, $24.99 on Steam right now. So it's a significant cost out of the game.
Yeah, it's a chunk.
There's a lot of content in here.
Do you get the AI stuff in the expansion, or is that just part of an update? What is the? Do you know?
I believe that it's just part of an update to the engine in general. And I'll go in and I'll check that and I'll make sure it's clear in our show notes. But I believe that that's just an update for the game in general. And it's right there in the hot menu right at the bottom of the screen. You click on your character and then you can choose all of their skills, all of their abilities, and you can turn their AI on or off right from there.
That sounds awesome.
So another one of the quest lines that's very early on is a new religious movement has moved into the White March, and they're getting people to give up their belongings, right? Their valuables, their armor, their weapons, and then this mysterious figure takes them out into the wilderness, to this frozen lake, and throws them into the water. And so we're trying to retrieve a very precious medallion for this guy Okran, and we have to dive right in there. So here's another one of those little quest lines. What they do with these quest lines, more so than the original also, I'm noticing, is they bake in your ability to use your spells and your powers much more. So we're actually going to cast a protective spell over the entire party, a spell that we normally use almost offensively or defensively in combat to influence how this quest line goes out. So
that's interesting. I mean, that stuff was kind of built into these types of cards in the core game. Like, if you had a certain item, you would have a different option or something or other. But I don't know. That to me is such core like RPG shit. Like, I'm so glad that it's more of an emphasis now.
Yeah, totally. So another aspect of the game that I'm really enjoying is just some of the environmental work that they've done. They've really gone to great lengths to make the White March feel very different from the rest of the game world. So with your kind of your wind effects and the crunching of the snow as you're walking around, it's very elaborately and skillfully done.
Well, I'm gonna go re-download Pillars of Eternity now.
All right. I think it's definitely worth your time, especially if you've kind of hit a dead end in the story that you're in right now. Just let it sit, and then go over and let the White March scale for you, and just kind of start over there. And maybe that's a good place for you to pick it up, and then come back to the main quest. It's such an interesting world and a well thought together world. I want to get through the story of it.
Yeah.
So if I don't have the time to really get good at the systems, I may be one of the people that just turns all the settings to easy and blasts through the story, because it really interests me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that being a strong point of the original, and I'm going to go get back into it. I don't know why I'm still talking to you.
All right, well, more on the way from the team behind Pillars of Eternity. Thanks for taking the time, Griffin.